Good afternoon. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. Today is going to be a fall equinox message. Um, I guess I'm thinking yesterday was the equinox, sometime between yesterday and this morning. And I really felt it. Last night, I really felt it was like between last night and in this morning, what I felt energy wise was like a load taken off my shoulders. I just felt great. It was like, whoa, I'm glad that is over with. Now, some people might think, well, I didn't feel that way. In fact, they're feeling the stress is more. And I think I'm going to take this, uh, this message to kind of talk about that because when people really hook into the solar and lunar cycles, they actually feel these things, the energy that's going through them. Because um, let me put it the other way: if you don't connect, if you have not connected to the solar and lunar cycles, you're missing a big opportunity. Especially as Gaia's going through this ascension thing, everybody's going through this ascension thing, and the the fall equinox is when, right up until that point, we can contribute, we can put a little bit of input in for the coming, what's going to happen the coming year, because everything that happens physically, everything that manifests physically, essentially is figured out in the astral a year ahead of time. So the election that's going to happen in November, it's in the astral. It already knows who's going to be the winner and who's going to be the loser. The the conflict in Ukraine, it already knows who's going to be the winner, who's going to be the loser. Same with over Israel. These things have to work themselves out ahead of time because there's too much at stake. It's too complicated. So they work themselves out. And the demarcation line or the stop line happens to be the autumn equinox. So up to this point in time, we can try to influence things a little bit, and now it's over. What we've done is done. The best way, one of the ways of thinking about it is through nature, and nature kind of tells you that there's two things happening in the autumn, especially like at the equinox time. One is a harvest, it's a physical harvest. Okay. And one is to carry things over into the coming year. And one is to get rid of things because they didn't work. So that's what's kind of going on. You have a harvest that's happening, and that harvest is where we see the results of what we've done, what we've planted in the spring, what we've weeded and worked on through the summer, and this is the results that we're getting. These are the results. And if it's not going into the physical, this it's going into the seeds. if you think about the plants, the vital life force energy is going into the seeds so that they can grow next year. Now, this is not the germination, but it's the vital life force. It's the feminine aspect, if you will, of the energy that goes into the egg, waiting for the winter solstice where the light comes in, where the male energy comes in to fertilize it, to invigorate it, to spark it, to bring it to life. So what's happening, it's happening in nature, but it's happening to us too. One of those things is we're seeing physical results happening. We're seeing the harvest of what we come up with. But also, there's a part of us that's kind of going inside and it's retreating, it's going inside to carry over into next year. And then there's things that just are so screwed up, it's time to toss them. Where you fit in this cycle, I have no idea. However, it could be a mix. There's some things that could be working out for you. There could be some things that really didn't. But that's just what I'm saying is this is the time of year that this happens. And if you are connected to the solar and lunar cycles, you really become aware of them because it's very significant. Now, one of the things that was strange for me this year is in previous years, coming up to the fall equinox, almost always there was some last minute thing that I was trying to bring in under the wire. I was trying to race, maybe work all night even on a project or something like that. I was trying to get it done, had to get it done before I ran out of time. Because what happens is at that fall equinox, you run out of time. The door's closed. What's on the other side of the equinox begins, and from that point on, you just kind of let go of it. And so, as I'm saying, in previous years, it's been busy, 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 busy trying to, there's last minute project they've been trying to sneak in. This year has been almost the opposite of that. This year, the message that's been coming to me has been don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat. You do not want to be overextended because there's an incredible amount of pressure, an incredible amount of stress that's happening. And if you make a mistake, it could collapse on you. So it's kind of like just for me this year, it's kind of like just curl up, duck down, and just be very conservative in what you're trying to do. And as a consequence of that, I haven't gotten a lot done other than the main thing that I was doing was the main thing I was doing was my daily meditations, where I most of the time was able to do two of them. But even toward the last few days here, it's like I thought about doing two of them. I thought, no, just one is enough. Don't rock the boat. Now, and like I said, the consequence has been really, I feel real good. it's like, wow, it's like a weight's been lifted. It's like, oh, I passed through that dangerous spot. Okay, I passed through it fine. And I feel good about that. And if I look back on it and I think about, well, what is of the primary significance of what I've done, what's the, the new significant harvest that I'm bringing? And it might sound kind of small, it might sound kind of petty, but for me, I I joined a local writers group, and we each once a year this writer group puts out a collection of short stories by the members. And so I put out a short story of my own, and that'll be coming out, I guess, probably next month on Amazon or whatever. It'll be part of this book, and it's actually the first time that I have shared a story of my own with other writers. The translations don't count. Translations are somebody else's writing and I've translated them. So that I've done quite a bit of that, but I've been influenced in that in joining this writers group this coming year. What I really want to do is work on a trilogy that I started 20 years ago, and I essentially completed the first book and have the next two of them to go, but I'm going to end up rewriting that first one. But again, something's telling me don't it's it's not time yet. I wait until after this equinox, maybe even wait until the first of the year to start this thing, because these last months going into uh, the winter solstice, what's happening is a lot of people are running out of karma. A lot of people are running out of spiritual energy. A lot of people are uh, running out of grace, if you will. That is why, for so many people, the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays is the worst time of the year for them, because it's tough. Other people get by fine, but it's just kind of, uh, well, let me put it this way. Can you tell me, do you know some people that are going to be having a tough winter? Do you know some countries that are going to be having a tough winter? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at there. Um, and there's going to be some that are going to be okay. This is kind of the way things work. But just a minute, I'm going to pause this a minute. I had to gather my thoughts together a little bit on what I want to share in this video. And what I'm going to share is that from every indication that I have, the stresses are just beginning. Whether it's the election, whether it's the economy, whether it's uh, war over in Europe, whether it's uh, the divisiveness of the polarization of our own people. Now, when you think about spirituality and you think about building or growing, creating astral bodies or developing the soul and its powers, one of the things is stress. You have to generate physical energy, and that's what you use the body for in a conscious effort to develop the soul. Well, I'm going to tell you that this coming year, maybe for the next few years, or let's say from now on, it's not about generating that physical stress because you're going to be stressed to the max one way or another, whether it's to pay the rent or put food on the table, or it's relationships, or it's whatever it is. The stress is already going to be there. Up to this point, people in the lead in the ascension camp, if you will, they've really been working hard and they've been putting a lot of effort out to transmute the negativity, to transmute the black energy, and to make it harmless. Okay, we are at a point where what's more important is to meditate because your physical body is going to be stressed anyway. You're going to you can do more, you can do both, but at this point, and I've tried over the years, I've tried to share what's important to do, what can you do right now? And the the windows of opportunity change. What I was talking about 6 months ago was right for 6 months ago. What I was talking about 2 years ago is right for 2 years ago. What I'm talking about now is right for now. And now, what I'm really saying is if you can meditate in a way that activates the chakra centers and integrates the chakra centers, and if you can do a meditation once a day, that's the most powerful thing you can do. Um, because you're going to not have time to do a lot of the other things. Uh, it's just going to it's going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And as I mentioned before, you're looking at meditations that activate the individual chakra centers, specifically in the root chakra, and if you can, the crown chakra. But they've got to connect, they've got to communicate with each other, so you need to be connecting with the other ones too. I've offered various types of energy ball meditations, which do that, but there's other types of meditations that might do the same thing. The microcosmic orbit by Montauk Chia, that's going to do the same thing where you're circulating the energy up and down the spine, up and down the body. The middle pillar meditation by uh, the Golden Dawn, for example, that's going to circulate the type of energies. What you need to be, this is basically what's happening. The lower levels are exploding. The shadow is exploding. You need to circulate that stuff. Bring it up into awareness where you can get rid of it. Because if you don't, it's going to come out as psychotic behavior patterns. And you're going to be seeing psychotic behavior happening we're already seeing it. I'm already seeing it. I see some of the people that live here, and it's like these behavior patterns. There's something wrong here. They're, they're going. It's crazy behavior, especially, and you're going to be seeing it. Especially, uh, we are seeing it around this election type thing. It's people are scared one way or another, and you have to circulate that energy, bring it up into awareness so you can deal with it, uh, turn things over to a higher power, um, and neutralize it somehow. That's all I'm saying is each week I'm doing a meditation. I'm trying to share what I feel is the most important coming up. And I'm not channeling something like that. But what I'm saying is, okay, things are the stress is building. The stress is building. You need to circulate it. You need to have some kind of meditation that uh, brings the submerged deep down stuff up safely so that you can deal with it. Turn it over to a higher power, transmute it, whatever it is. And that you're going to be so busy doing that that the rest of the stuff can forget about that for a little bit. That's that's my thoughts. Now, what happens is after the equinox that just happened, this time, October, November, December, this time up until the winter solstice is when the collective gets to have it judges, if you want to say that, it places judgment on our personal efforts, and it either rewards them and gives you the thumbs up, or it's going to give you the thumbs down. And we don't have any say over that. We have done what we can. But the collective now has their chance for this next 3 months, and that's what we're going to be seeing. And we cannot influence because it's already worked itself out that way. But what we're going to be doing is seeing it. A lot of what I'm saying is psychically, there's a part of each one of us that already knows what's going on. They already know what's going to be happening over the coming year. And we may be trying to be blind to it. We may try to desperately be not thinking about it, but there's a part of us that knows. And part of us might be scared, totally scared, or might be quite happy. And me personally, I'm going to be quite happy. So I guess uh, I'm doing okay. And I would like it if everybody was being okay. That's why I try to share what I share. Anyway, I'm just starting to ramble, so I'm going to cut this off. Talk to you next week. Thank you.